Greetings, hello, welcome on in. Unoptimized Fool here from the closet. Let's go ahead and talk about the Greedy Emissary. Now, this video isn't really about the Greedy Emissary. It's about kind of what the details, inside of the event are, right? So the Greedy Emissary, event is going to be happening in 11.1.7. We've already talked about this. Now, there's going to be these NPCs called Hellhunters that you can actually talk to. They're actually on the PTR now that are going to kind of introduce this event, right? It's not going to be a crazy event, it's just going to be some basic event, but the NPCs basically talk about how from their timeline, the world has gone to hell, that there's all these types of abominations. Think of like the Diablo universe inside of Warcraft. That's their timeline, right? It's pretty awful, right? Now, they're probably happy to be on our timeline. But it opens up the question of, again, we talked about the game modes coming out. We have Plunderstorm Remix, the new mystery one in Darkshire. And again, we have Timewalking too, but all these cool events, and it kind of, and these Hellhunters kind of bring up a good discussion point, talking about potential new game modes, even going past the one that we have planned from the PAX East announcement. Now, again, we have a bunch of timelines, and again, there was some quests inside Dragonflight diving into those timelines. Most of them were goofy. One was like, a Murloc Lich King, right, or whatever it was, right? Again, goofy, but again, there are a ton of timelines worth exploring. And what's cool about that is, again, with the Hellhunters, they come from their own timeline where everything is basically like Diablo, right? Now, obviously, the Greedy Emissary originally came from Diablo, right? So it's kind of a crossover anyway. But it would be cool to see eventually, right, these events where they just, say, okay, a new type of game mode where every month there's a new timeline that you go to, and you explore Azeroth in that timeline. It might be Murlocs, it might be a Hellscape, it might be if the Horde won one of the wars or one of the Alliance won the wars. It'll be like alternate history, right? And it'll be kind of fun to turn that into like an XP event. Like, think of Timewalking and how you can run dungeons, get Timewalking badges, but instead of just doing dungeons, you do like scenarios in these random timelines, right? And it could just, rotate every month, every week, who knows, right? But that's more content, right? Again, this isn't planned. This isn't stuff that they're thinking about Blizzard. This is stuff that I'm thinking about because, again, we're being introduced to these weird timelines of like random stuff, right? Again, some of them are just memes and some of them are just quests. Some of them are just for the events, right? But it'd be cool to see something actually officially, diving into these timelines, because we kind of opened that door into the timelines. I mean, Dragonflight really opened that door, right, with the Bronze Dragonflight. So it makes sense of having an event around that. And it would be a really cool refresh to the Timewalking experience. I enjoy Timewalking dungeons. We're having, BFA join the Timewalking dungeons. I think that's great. That's a good refresh, right, with the vendor. We have, obviously BFA is not getting a raid in this Timewalking, but normally there are some raids that are in Timewalking. But it'd be cool if we can do like, think of Mists of Pandaria scenarios, right? Of just going into these timelines and just enjoying it, exploring different versions of Azeroth and getting badges, experience for it. It would be a pretty cool group experience, and it builds on the core game, and it kind of makes sense lore-wise, because obviously you can go buck wild with whatever alternate history that we want to talk about. Again, it's really not a huge change. Again, this is 100% speculations, but hearing about the Hellhunters from the Greedy Emissary that's coming in 11.1.7 makes me think like, it would be cool to have this type of event. Now, again, I want to hear from you, because, again, this is totally like, hey, Blizzard, you should do this. None of this is planned. None of this is going to come out. It's just kind of like, I want to talk about it because I think it's something pretty cool. But guys, thanks for hanging out with me. Again, I am Unoptimized Fool from the closet. I'll see you guys next time.